there, friends. Rebecca here, the Dragon Librarian from Farmington Community Library, and we're here today to talk to you about a book that is absolutely fantastic. I really loved it a lot. Yeah, I know, she did too. And I just wanted to talk about it because I think if you haven't read it yet, it's definitely something that you should read because you will absolutely enjoy it. It just recently won an award, which is why it really got put onto my radar, and I wanted to read it. But I definitely, if I'm remembering correctly, read it in 1 or 2 sittings. I just could not put it down. It was a really interesting, fascinating story filled with mystery, but also there was a lot that I didn't know about that this book taught me, which is always a really cool thing. I love when a book is really fun and interesting, but also you learn something as well. So the book that I'm talking about today is Maizy Chen's Last Chance. And this is by Lisa Yi. Maizy Chen's Last Chance. So that's what the cover looks like, which is really cool. So the title is actually a little bit of a play on words, right? Because it says last chance, like it's Maisy's last chance. But last chance is actually a place, and it's a place where this book actually takes place. So it's in Minnesota, this little town called Last Chance. And Maizy and her mom are have just gone there to visit her grandparents, who she has really basically not seen in forever because her mom and her grandmom kind of butt heads a lot. But her grandfather is now sick, so her mom and herself, Maizy, go to this little town to try and help him recover and get better. Well, unfortunately, he doesn't really seem to get better as fast as they would like, so they are going to be there for a little while. Definitely much longer than the couple weeks that Maizy was originally thinking. Now, she's not really happy about being stuck here. First of all, they're the only Asian American family in town. She is away from her friends. She's not really sure what she wants to do. And some of the girls that she has initially run into in the town are a little bit, say some mean things to her and pick on her a little bit. So she's, in the beginning, she's not very happy about being there, but she soon finds that there is a lot of different stuff to absorb her interest and to take up her time. First of all, her grandparents own the Chinese restaurant in town, and she loves being there and helping them out with that because she loves people watching and she loves watching the customers, and she realizes that you can learn a lot about people by what they eat and what they order and how they do it too. Are they polite? Are they rude? Or do they take leftovers? Do they leave them there? Stuff like that. But she finds that her mom and her grandmom are butting heads more and more often. She also discovers a couple other secrets as well. First of all, there's all these pictures in the office of all these different people. They look like historical pictures, and she's trying to figure out who they are and why they're there. Also, the big bear that's like the mascot of the restaurant, like this wooden pillar that stands out in front of the restaurant, is stolen, and in its place is left some racist remarks. So she's got to try to get to the bottom of that too. So this book deals with a lot of different stuff. Obviously, first and foremost, it deals with the family and the stuff that Maizy is going through with that, but it also deals with culture, and also a lot of, racism and different things that Asian American people have to face, the discriminations and stuff like that, which is really, I would say great. It was great to read about. It was not. It was sad and awful that it happens, but I was glad to be made more fully aware of it. But there was also a lot of historical stuff that was going on in this book that was amazing, because you see the way that Maizy begins to bond with her grandfather is he tells her stories of their ancestor named Lucky, who was the first Chinese person in their family to come over from China to America. And he begins to tell her his story a little bit by a little bit. And basically the history of what happens with the restaurant and how that is formed, and what happens with Lucky, which keeps her really engrossed. But as he's telling this, he's telling not only Maizy, but he's telling us too. And we're learning about all kinds of different stuff about how the Chinese immigrants worked on the railroad system when they first came over here, how they were not paid well, how they were not recognized as citizens. And it also talks a lot about the Chinese Exclusion Act, which I didn't really know much about, but apparently in the late 1800s and early 1900s, that act prevented Chinese people from becoming citizens. So what did they do when they were coming over? How did they get around that? Well, a lot of them became paper sons and paper daughters, which is a term I had not heard before, and I was really fascinated by this. So the act that was passed said that you could not become a citizen if you were Chinese. However, a lot of these immigrants bought paperwork saying that they were descendants of people who were already citizens, even though they weren't. So they were paper sons and paper daughters of America, even though technically they hadn't been, but that was how they got around to coming into this country and becoming legal citizens. So there's so many historical things about this book too. If you like reading about history, particularly about a time period that isn't really touched upon a whole lot, I highly recommend this book. And again, it's not very long. A lot is packed into this little book, but it's absolutely fantastic. And then, like I said, there's the mystery aspect of it as well. There's the family aspect of it. Maizy herself is a really great character. She's just really plucky and just takes it upon herself to try to solve a lot of these things that are going on, and also be there for her grandmother and grandfather and her mom as well. Absolutely fantastic book. Really liked it a lot, and I highly recommend anybody of any age to read it. Maizy Chen's Last Chance. So that's what we've got for you guys today. I hope that this book sounds really awesome and that you're just as excited to read it as I was to talk about it. If so, please feel free to come get it from Farmington Community Library. And you can also please give this video a like. I really appreciate you watching, my friends. Have a wonderful rest of the day.